Welcome to Subramani. Today I'm going to talk about a topic which is very touchy. Is one when somebody else is managing your money and you give away complete control, like a mother giving away control to her son, or a mother-in-law giving away control to the son-in-law, or husband giving away control to the wife, or the wife giving away control to the husband. All these combinations. And in the case where a person is looking to get married and is looking for a spouse, I'll tell you what is the connection between all of this. When you're looking for a spouse, if you're going to live together with your spouse for the rest of your life, and you're always going to be together, in the sense that when you have a job in Bangalore and he also has a job in Bangalore, then you're living together, right? But it is also possible that you're sometimes living remote, and in case you are in the army or even in the navy, sometimes you get picked up for training and you are away from the house for 6-7 months without any communication, right? So I call this the military spouse problem, because you do not know what your spouse is doing during this period. Now, why am I building such a huge background story? Is simply because if you do not know what your spouse is capable of doing. So let's say you are still in the stage when you have not found your spouse and you're looking for a spouse, and you go to your spouse's house, and what are the telltale signs that you should look for? One is when the person is very casual about saying, mera income tax due hai, I will pay later on, I only don't have to get a refund, I have to only get a small refund, so it doesn't matter, right? Casual attitude. A very low CIBIL score. If somebody with a CIBIL score of 500 or 550 should completely ring your alarm bells. So whether you check a person's horoscope or no, it's worth looking at a person's NSGL report and a CIBIL report before you get married. And I'm not joking, right? So no harm in asking for the CIBIL score. Some person who is very who says he or she makes a lot of money in share trading, right? And somebody who says, oh, bank fixed deposits, I don't keep money in bank fixed deposits, I do a lot of F&O. I'm nothing against F&O, but the question is, has the person been trained to do anything in F&O, or is it just that they say, oh, I do a lot of trading, I do F&O, I make money and things like that, which means you do not know really what's happening. Or if this fiancé or potential fiancé tells you that in the last 8 years her father has bailed her out of credit card debt 3 times, or her grandfather has bailed her out, it doesn't really matter. You go to their house and you find one credit card company letter saying final reminder. This should be a very big red flag for you, right? So look at all those things, because I have seen when you give away complete control, the person handles it, right? The person buys shares for you, sells shares for you, etc. He or she is young, maybe only 30 years of age, 28 years of age, is doing well in a booming market. Everybody is doing well in this market, right? You can make money by buying NFOs and selling. Every NFO seems to be giving you a 20% listing gain, right? So really what you pick doesn't matter. So try doing this. Pick up some shares, and also pick up some shares which you will say, I will never buy them, right? So make that list, make both the lists. When you see your shares going up by 30%, be thrilled about it, and look at the other list, it may be up by 40%. That is what is happening. Shares at the bottom of the pyramid, which is perhaps not worth touching, something like a Reliance Power, Reliance Capital, Suzlon, they're all just jumping, right? So these kind of things could happen. Everybody could look like a hero, but the person handling your money could suddenly become greedy, or do some F&O, make some losses, and use your shares as a collateral. Believe me, I've seen this happen too often. Husband and wife, mother and son, mother-in-law and son, every kind of combination. client and broker, right? So there are some people who leave their delivery slips with the client, or even worse, leave their login password with the client, saying in the worst case scenario you can give delivery, right? These are perfectly capable of being misused. The question is, to whom are you giving? Are you giving it to a 60-year-old satisfied broker, or are you giving it to a 28-year-old, 26-year-old guy who is just starting out in life, or a girl who is just starting out in life? I've seen boys misuse, I've seen girls misuse, I've seen fathers misuse, I've seen husbands misuse, I've seen wives misuse. I saw a wife losing about 1.5 crore of her husband. Husband is earning very well, make no mistake about it, but she lost 1.5 crores for her husband, and husband had no clue this was happening. She was issuing shares from the demat account as a collateral and for losses, right? So why did she wait till it reached 1.5 crores? I never asked this question, because it's like abuse. You don't know when the person will come out of abuse. So she was in abuse. She had lost 1.5 crores. The marriage did not end, but then the father-in-law had to step in and pay money, because the son-in-law said, look, I am not a dowry kind of a person, but if your daughter has come and lost 1.5 crores for me, you better pay up. The father-in-law's net worth was not so high, but yes, he did pay up. He had some property and he had some cash, so he did pay up for his daughter's losses, right? Daughter was not even earning much at that time. She was earning maybe 4 or 5 lakhs. So losing 1.5 crores meant 30 years income for her. That was not going to be possible. So the father-in-law stepped in and made good the payment by selling off one house and transferring another house to the son-in-law. He had to do that because it was both the houses were in a small town. So father-in-law more or less completely wiped out. He's now living in a small house with zero rental income. He's going to struggle, right? So be careful about with whom you're sharing your login, your password. Be very careful with the girl that you are marrying or the boy that you are marrying. And let us take the case of this military spouse that I call. When a military guy gets married to a woman, he is very likely to be away from the house for 6 months, 8 months, 1 year. Believe me, this period is enough, far more than enough to ruin your portfolio. So be very careful. You need to give your spouse the powers to use the money, but you should not give so much powers that she completely wipes you out and you don't even know. You are somewhere stuck in a submarine, or you are in Siachen glacier. You don't have access to your mobile phone. You have no clue what is happening, and this is something to be scared about. So whether you are a guy looking for a girl, or a girl looking for a guy, or a client looking to give away the power of attorney to the broker, or giving your signed demat slips to your broker, and people do all this, or to your employee, beware what is happening, because under normal circumstances this may not get misused, but when that person is in trouble, he'll say, oh, temporarily let me borrow 1,000 Infosys. And that's it. That Infosys will never come back, right? He may have gone short on Infosys and he won't have shares for delivery. He'll use your shares for delivery and then you're ruined, right? These things happen. These things happen very commonly. There are chartered accountants who have ruined their clients' portfolios. There are brokers who have ruined their client portfolios. There are fathers who have ruined their daughters' portfolios. There are husbands who have ruined the wives' portfolios. I've seen all kinds of combination. I'm calling it the military spouse simply because it is in the military that when you stay apart, you may not even have access to communication. So if your wife does not come and tell you that she has lost 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees in a deal, you don't know how to handle it. Then suddenly one day you find that it is 17 lakhs or 23 lakhs, which is the money which you had kept for buying a house. And these were lying in mutual funds, shares, etc. Your wife had access, she's completely ruined it. I have seen this happen, and therefore this video saying, be careful to whom you're giving the power of attorney or the login password, and that person is able to handle it. Please be attentive, right? Like Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. It is very important that you trust, because if you don't trust, you shouldn't even be married to that person, or you should not be in a relationship with that person. But you need to verify for a very long period of time, because a person works perfectly under good circumstances, but when that person gets into trouble, he or she could ruin your portfolio. Be very careful about this. Thank you.